Blue Lock is a sports manga that I've had my eye on for a while. With its premise being extremely unique and its take on teamwork and sports in general also being very unique and interesting, I think, and I've said previous times on the channel, that Blue Lock has the potential to be one of the biggest sports manga and anime to ever do it. And in this video, I'll be taking a look at what Blue Lock does really well in order to find what exactly Blue Lock's biggest strength is. Now, when looking at a series as good as Blue Lock, it's bound to have many strengths and upsides to the series. Whether it be its art, its characters, or its premise, Blue Lock is a series that for the most part is a strength in and of itself. However, regardless of any of the strengths, regardless of the several strengths that I could list off for the series, the one thing that I think truly separates Blue Lock from several other sports series that I have watched, including ones that I even like more, such as Haikyuu, that I have seen, is the sheer intensity and insanity of everything that the series does and attempts to do. Now, before I explain exactly why I think this intensity and insanity plays into the series' favor and gives it a very unique atmosphere that only Blue Lock can have, let me talk about just a few examples of what I mean by the intensity of this series. Some of the most intense scenes in Blue Lock come from Isagi realizing for the first time that he's a striker. To briefly cover this, when he realizes this, the art intensity increases, his expression increases, and everything about this seems to really pop out at you that this is a big character moment. There's plenty of others, like Isagi calling Baro a retard as he struggles to win the game is an amazing moment. Baro's redemption as he has a chemical reaction where they're literally consuming each other's skills in order to get better and win the game with Isagi is also another fire yet intense moment. When Chigiri uses his full speed basically anytime in the manga, that's always a super cool and intense moment. And obviously some of the most intense and just downright insane moments of the series come from Ryusei. Obviously he literally boxes people in a soccer-based manga, so anything focusing around him is always going to be super intense and super just over the top. The intensity that Blue Lock can build comes from several parts and aspects of the manga. The characters, the art, the expressions, and the premise all lend to these culmination of a really good core strength that I think Blue Lock really focuses on. Now, due to the art and expressions being something that doesn't really need to be analyzed, and you can just look at the manga and read, or just look at some manga art that the series has on Google, and you'd be able to find plenty of things, I'll be focusing on the other two, being the characters and the premise. The mere premise of Blue Lock plays into the strength of the overwhelming intensity and insanity of the series. I mean, just think about it for a second. The idea of a facility existing in the world that puts you in a position to either succeed and become the greatest striker in soccer in all of the world, or you being blacklisted from the soccer world altogether is just an insane concept. Not a bad one. It's just a little bit off the wall, especially when it's supposed to take place in a semi-realistic area. It's supposed to be taking place in our real world, at least for 99% of the time. The fact that there is a character here in this facility, in this Blue Lock facility, so uncontrollable that he is locked down in a straitjacket and put in a literal prison because of the fact that he can't stop himself from fighting with other soccer players is also insane. When it comes to the characters, Blue Lock seemingly has two modes. Calm, chill, relaxed characters that are just trying to get better at soccer and figure out how to become the #1 player in the Blue Lock facility. That's mode 1. That's the chill one, that's the cool one, that's the one, you know, where Isagi will be in his normal form and everybody else will be relatively relaxed. And then mode 2 is balls to the walls, completely insanity, where all of them are monsters and complete villains on the field. Yoichi Isagi is a pretty good example of this, and seeing as how he's the main character, I think fits pretty well. Here, we have Isagi being timid, calm, and generally a good person, being nice and relaxing, being cool to his teammates, being just generally what you would consider a normal, not really intense person. And in stark contrast, we have him here being an absolute unit on the field, manipulating everything and everyone in order to win and score his perfect goal. He throws all of that kindness that he naturally is inclined to have to the wayside, calling his own teams, like I mentioned earlier, literal retards, and throwing people useless to his perfect plan to the ground as he steps on the field. Now, Yoichi Isagi himself is simply a microcosm of the craziness and ego that the characters in Blue Lock have. But I think that not only makes them a multi-dimensional character and entertaining, but it also plays into the overall themes and ideas, and along with the messages that the series pushes forward. Now, this intensity that I've talked about can definitely be argued by some to be over the top in some moments, even cringy if not done well or perceived well by the audience. Like the fact that in Blue Lock, like I've said, an area designed to make soccer players better, fights break out where they are literally almost martial artists in the sense that they're throwing like these flying kicks and super high level taijutsu-esque abilities. And those are the same soccer players that are locked up as if they're criminals in one moment. But personally, I think it's almost in these moments of pure insanity and intensity where Blue Lock is at its best. When the art is firing on all cylinders, when the characters are developing, acting somewhat insane, and all of these things come together to be a really intense scene, I think Blue Lock truly hits its peak. The reason is simply because when Blue Lock is going over the top and it's going just balls to the wall insane, and being a series that is pretty self-aware that it is insane, there is no other anime or manga that has the same tone, the same intense tone, while simultaneously having that feeling of self-awareness that creates this series' quality. Don't get me wrong, Blue Lock is weird, and it's insane, and it's different, and it's just intense. But I think it's this intensity and insanity that the manga is able to bring to the table with basically every aspect of the series, which culminates to it being possibly its greatest turnoff, but also the biggest strength of a series like Blue Lock. For all those that have watched or read Blue Lock, let me know what you think about the series down in the comments below. I am pretty interested in hearing the different perspectives and takes on the series, seeing as how Blue Lock is a manga that I'm pretty interested in. Not 100% caught up. I think I missed like one chapter or something like that. But overall, great series. And I think its intensity and like just complete insanity that's kind of just outside of the realm of realism is one of its, if not its biggest strengths, as I've made the case for in this entire video. But if you disagree with me or agree, let me know what you think down in the comments. Regardless, I am just interested in hearing your takes and perspectives on that, because some people may say it's art, some people may say it's character. I feel like when all of these things are culminated together, in order for just like these really crazy highlight scenes where we'll just have, you know, Isagi being crazy, or where Nagi like traps like this insane like ball and is able to shoot it into a goal, or just all these different moments, I think Blue Lock is almost like a highlight reel of just some of the craziest things that you'd be able to see, and I just love it. But like I said, might not be for everyone. As I said, it could be possibly its biggest turnoff for some people if you're a little bit of a chump. But in any case, like I said, link to my other Blue Lock videos where I talk about it being a manga that builds winner and being the next big thing down in the description below. Those are like the only other two Blue Lock videos I've done on the channel. If you guys want me to do more like this, let me know by hitting the like button, subscribing, hitting the bell, and doing all that good stuff. Because if this video does even remotely well, I would be happy to do more Blue Lock videos where I cover Isagi as a main character and all these other characters that I think are very interesting in the story. In any case, this outro is starting to get really long-winded, so hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, this is Broken Ronin signing off.